Okay, let's talk about a film that didn't just entertain audiences, it pretty much changed Hollywood forever. We're diving into Christopher Nolan's 2008 masterpiece, The Dark Knight. And this thing wasn't just another sequel. No, it was a full-blown cultural event that completely redefined what a superhero movie could even be. And this number, well, this wasn't just a box office number. It was a massive statement. Back in 2008, a superhero film making $1 billion was absolutely historic. It cemented the genre as the new king of the box office. But its impact went so much deeper than just money. It was philosophical. I mean, this one line pretty much captures the huge, heavy questions the film dared to ask. It wasn't about simple good guys versus bad guys anymore. It was all about that razor-thin line that separates them, and how easily desperation can shove anyone right across it. Yeah, this was so much more than a comic book movie. The acclaim was just undeniable. So much so that when it got snubbed for a Best Picture nomination, the public outcry was so huge, it literally forced the Academy to change its rules and expand the category to 10 nominees. It kicked off this huge debate. Could a superhero film actually be considered high art? So what was the magic recipe here? How did The Dark Knight go from being a blockbuster to an absolute legend? Well, it really boils down to two core pillars, and that's what we're going to break down in this explainer. All right, our first pillar. This is built around one of the greatest movie villains of all time. I mean, you simply can't talk about this film without talking about its terrifying, unpredictable, and just mesmerizing antagonist. What makes this Joker so unforgettable? This wasn't the campy prankster from the old comics. No, this was something totally new, something that crawled right under your skin and just stayed there. And it all started with an actor's total, bone-deep commitment to the part. Heath Ledger's dedication to this role was it was legendary. He completely transformed himself. He locked himself away and kept this diary, filling it with pictures of hyenas, stills from A Clockwork Orange, and the word chaos just highlighted over and over in green. He meticulously crafted the voice, the laugh, the posture. Every single tick was a deliberate choice to build this perfect avatar of anarchy. And the result of all that work was a performance for the ages. It earned him a posthumous Academy Award, and we are still talking about it today for a reason. Ledger wasn't just playing a character. He was embodying an entire philosophy. It was magnetic and absolutely horrifying, all at the same time. Alfred's observation just nails the terrifying heart of this new Joker. This guy wasn't after money or power, not in the usual way. He literally sets a mountain of cash on fire just to prove a point. His motivations were something else entirely, something far more dangerous. And this gets to the core of it all. His motivation was purely philosophical. He wanted to tear down every single one of society's rules just to prove that they were all a big joke. He truly believed that underneath that thin little layer of civilization were all just violent animals looking out for number one. And that's what made him the perfect enemy for Batman. He wasn't just challenging the man, he was challenging the very soul of Gotham City. His entire incredibly intricate plan, from corrupting Harvey Dent to that whole fairy experiment, it was all just a series of twisted social experiments designed to break the city's spirit for good. So how does the hero's story hold up against that? A villain this profound demands a hero who can be pushed to his absolute breaking point, which, you guessed it, brings us to our second pillar. The Joker pushed Batman and all of Gotham into one impossible moral conflict after another. The whole film forces you to look at these pairs, justice and vengeance, security and liberty, and watch as the lines between them get dangerously blurry. And this is exactly why it mattered so much at the time. It wasn't just a fantasy, it was holding up a mirror to the tough conversations we were having in the real world. The movie became this powerful metaphor for a society grappling with fear and the extreme measures people were willing to take in the name of safety. So Batman himself is forced to live in this gray area. He becomes what some scholars have called a liminal hero. Think about it. He's an outlaw, but he works with the police. He uses criminal methods to try and uphold the justice system. It's a total paradox. To stop the Joker, Batman has to start breaking his own rules, one by one, pushing himself right to the edge. In that interrogation scene, his brutal tactics get him nowhere. Then later, he builds that citywide sonar device that spies on 30 million people, a tool that his own ally, Lucius Fox, calls unethical and flat out wrong. And here's the brilliant part. The film never gives you an easy answer. It just forces the audience to wrestle with that question themselves. Sure, Batman's actions might have stopped the Joker, but they came at a huge cost to his own principles and the very ideals he swore to protect. So, what happens when you combine a perfect villain with a hero facing impossible choices? You get a legacy, a lasting one. The impact of The Dark Knight goes way, way beyond its own runtime. Director Christopher Nolan didn't just tell a serious story. He shot it like a serious crime drama. You can see the influence of films like Michael Mann's Heat all over it. He filmed on location in Chicago and used those massive IMAX cameras for the big action scenes, creating this tangible, immersive Gotham City that felt less like a comic book panel and more like a real, breathing city. And you can trace its influence like a direct line through the superhero movies that came after it. It proved that a grounded approach could work, which paved the way for a similar reboot of Superman. And its gritty realism and social commentary, that leads you straight to films like Matt Reeves' The Batman. It really did. It set a whole new standard. It convinced studios that darker automatically meant more mature. And a lot of films tried to copy that grim tone, but they often missed the philosophical depth and the careful craftsmanship that actually made The Dark Knight so special. Ultimately, here's the thing. The Dark Knight isn't just remembered as a great comic book movie. It's remembered as a great film. Period. Full stop. It proved that a story born from the pages of a comic could carry the same dramatic weight and cinematic power as the most respected classics in film history. It just completely redefined what a superhero movie could be. And even now, all these years later, the entire industry is still feeling its impact. The film raised the bar to an incredible height, leaving this long, dark shadow that continues to shape the stories we see on screen to this very day.